think Martha Jane just was a born leader.
It seemed to me that her focus was children, marriage, women, and education.
I also think that she probably was born with a sense of responsibility, of giving back, of integrity.
She and her husband moved to Kansas City for his business. She became very much engaged in the broader community. And then when he was set to step off the board, he said to the leadership at the time, "You know, the person I think you need to get involved is Martha Jane."
And she came along at a time that women, they were supposed to be seen and not heard. And I'm sure you've heard about the thing of when she went on the trustees, that they wanted her to be in charge of beautification of the campus. And she said that's not the kind of thing she was going to do. And so she later went on to be chair, and she also was the first woman in 1968 to receive the Chancellor's Medal.
She had that vision that she wanted to make a difference, and she slowly went about doing that. She served on the Board of Trustees, then she created the Women's Council, and then she eventually created the Graduate Assistance Fund, which now aids more than 1,700 women.
Well, in addition to what she did so graciously for UMKC, she and her husband were also very active with the Boy Scouts. They funded and developed the fountain for the Eagle Scouts there at 39th and Gillum. She was a contributor to the Rose Garden at Luce Park. She also was a grand funder of the Butterfly Exhibit at Powell Gardens, which is a wonderful annual event. And she was also very proud of the fact that she was one of the first presidents of Planned Parenthood in Greater Kansas City. So her reach was tremendous all across this area, and that's only the tip of the iceberg.
It's obvious to me from an archivist perspective that she was very cognizant of her legacy because she did save so much material.
I know as I had an opportunity to look at the papers and to see the collection, it's a wonderful reminder of just how forward-thinking she was.
I think what would be appealing to a researcher is the breadth of material that's in the collection, not only in terms of content, but in terms of time period. As a result, there's material that relates to both her personal life and her professional and I would call activist life, because she was an activist.
She forged enduring, sustained relationships with institutions and organizations that she felt were stable, that had leverage, that were enduring, and that would move with the times.
She was a formidable leader in Kansas City, and I think first and foremost, having a woman of her caliber and her stature be associated with the university was significant.
UMKC was one of the basic vehicles that she chose to do that, because they had the academic integrity to deal factually with issues that were coming across the landscape and to do something about them.
She saw in UMKC a unique blend because of our professional schools, and that so many of our female students who were working on their graduate degrees had so many needs beyond just tuition. She saw to it that this campus would always be at the forefront of women's issues.
She was a visionary, well ahead of her time.
She believed that she didn't do things just because they were controversial. She did things because they were the right thing to do. She was a firecracker, but at the same time, she was very disarming. And so you didn't know by looking at her and talking to her that she had all that power and strength.
When you really look at the life of this most remarkable person, this woman who was a benefactor, a philanthropist, a thought leader, you just have to know that she had an enduring community and civic presence. She was one of the women that I know that was an enlightened advocate for the American dream.